Friends, I hope you are well. Welcome to the second channel here. I hope everyone's doing well. I want to have more of an intimate conversation about these. Is that the right word to use here? I don't want to make this weird, but about Applied Digital and about D-Wave here. This isn't really a video talking about, oh, we're going to go into the chart here. We're going to break it down. Then get a little more push here, a little more volume here. I think we need to look at these two situations very different from the market, very different from each other as companies, and really think about where the market could shift here. Maybe even next year. This might be a long conversation. So if this isn't for you, I totally get it. But first off, I just want to say thank you for clicking on this video. Second channel here. This is a new baby channel. I'm trying to get going here apart from the main channel. Really want to talk about different plays over here. What could happen? What might be unfold here with certain stocks, companies. And I want to start once again here with D-Wave, QBTS, and Applied Digital, APLD. So these two stocks, I think they could get stupid. That's the name of the thumbnail here, and I'm going to talk about why, and I mean that in the most positive, best way, bullish way possible. So these two stocks could really shift into the next gold rush. Two new gold rushes of the future markets. So right now we find ourselves in the market of where, well, tech is obviously, it is in, and it's going to be here for a while. This conversation is not going to change. But there's different tentacles right now of AI, tech, okay? And right now, defense, security, I mean, it's the main one. Chips, still very much in there, but even chips now, I mean, it's still very much, there could be a strong argument where it's in defense, security, stuff like that, okay? All right, so with that, where we're at right now in the market, that is where everyone's essentially every investor you meet is we're all pretty much in one of two companies. If not, we're trying to get in that company. We're pretty much all in the same boat here. I would say it's pretty safe to say. The next gold rush that could come in the next 5 years with the future markets here are 100%. There is a strong argument to say about quantum computing. I am not going to break down quantum computing because I am far too uneducated to tell you about it, but what I do know about it is that it is something far advanced, really detailed with finding something in the internet, data code, all that kind of stuff. That's far as I'm going here, but it's still stock wise has not really taken over the market. Now when quantum computing earlier this year really broke into the market, where people were like, what's quantum computing? I mean, we were all like, quantum computing. We heard a lot more about this the end of 2024, the beginning of 2025 here. And then it kind of it disappeared, especially going into where we found ourselves in the market here. So quantum computing, I think, has all of the infrastructure to really be a huge conversation here, maybe next year, maybe later, more into the future. I don't know. There's still a lot of investors. There's a lot of people. I don't want to say investors. There's a lot of people. I've tried to listen to podcasts with people that specifically know more about quantum computing because I'm very interested in it. It's just like something to do with like I have an uncle who is like a very high advanced scientist, and I was just bugging him. I went out of town this weekend and I was bugging him about like certain companies like CRISPR with gene editing. I was like, so what do you think gene editing is like when do you think this is actually gonna work? And he broke it down for me a little more to understand. But with quantum computing, even listening to people that know about this, it's a very 50-50 split down the middle where, a lot of these people think it may never really work in the next 5 to 10 years. It may be 20, 30 years out before it really starts to take off. I don't know. Even I listen to that and I go like, that's a lot. That's a long time, especially how rapid in advanced time has shifted here into technology really taking over. So this could really come up here sooner than we think with quantum computing stocks. Okay, now shifting, and I'm going to talk about these two companies separately, obviously, but I think the theme of what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to get my thoughts out here where you can hear them so we can all go like, okay, I'm thinking this too. This is kind of what I'm focusing on too for the future market here. Then we look at data centers, whatever you want to say. This is a whole new situation. I just had a conversation with someone else this week about this thing that we're seeing take off in the market, where we're seeing these top security warehouse buildings be built, where they essentially they hold data. They work on their software, pushing AI, stuff like that. And a lot of them are very high security, watched over places because they're holding data. But with that, a lot of these companies, Applied Digital, are making crazy money just out of the crazy money. Now, with that, these places take a lot of resources to maintain, power being one of them. But the money is getting very, very attractive to a lot of investors, where we're going like, okay, is this going to keep going here with these revenue streams? Is this going to continue to pile on here? So companies like Applied Digital, these data centers, this isn't something like new, but they're getting more talked about. They're getting bigger, and going into this new world we're going into, this future world, data centers are just going to continue to be a new thing. They're going to continue to pop up. And where are they going to pop up to? They're going to pop up in the market where, they go public, where these companies go public, and we as investors, well, we can be a part of this. And it almost is, it's kind of boring in a way too, like to say like, hey, I invest in a data company. They just hold data. Okay, that's not that exciting. They're not making robots. They're not, making military weapons or anything like that for a lot of people that are into that kind of stuff. Okay, whatever. But revenue is great. The stock's going up slowly. Who knows? Might get a split in a few years. I'm doing well. Okay, strong conversation to these particular companies that I want to talk about here. So first, talking about Applied Digital, just going right into Applied Digital here. I look at Applied Digital, and this stock has had amplitude of movement here with the price, and they do their quarterlies a little different. They've already had 4 quarterlies come out this year, and obviously there's going to be more to how they kind of break it up here. But the last quarter that just came out here was it missed a little, but still it was still a very high, thick, strong quarterly that came out. So Applied Digital this year so far is in this, even from the end of last year, is in this whole new bracket of revenue. And it doesn't seem to really be dying off. Like I said, the last one was a little down, but still very much holding this position of where it's at right now. So Applied Digital here is really, it's getting people's attention more than I'm finding. And I think it should, because these data centers are growing, and there's a strong conversation that, well, there's somewhat, it's a defense, it's a security company in a way, and yeah, I guess there's a strong argument to say that. Even on this new quarterly that Applied Digital came out with, it was almost a $40 million quarterly, and they missed it. They were supposed to hit 42 and some change, but they missed it. I mean, still, that's a lot of money. I mean, just the beginning of this year, they went from making, almost, a $64 million quarterly. The one before that was $60 million. I mean, not much time passed between those. Then we went to $52 million for Q3. And then this last one here was 38. So still in a very heavy chunk change of money. And their quarterlies have been like this, but still the argument is that we're seeing this teeter-totter flow. As long as they keep in this flow, this wave of continuing to move up, even into 2026 here, I would say this is a strong argument here that, it deserves people's attention 100%. So I'm not looking at this and going like, yeah, I mean, it's not really grabbing my attention. I don't really think people should be a part of this. I would argue against that 100%. So, but still, where I find myself arguing with myself is I go, there's still probably not a lot of people focusing on this right now. It's just not, because it's so it's such a weird it's like this middle ground. It's not producing, a software, a security software, anything like something like Palantir. It's not like an NVIDIA where it's producing chips. It's not even producing a product that you can hold. It's data center. I mean, they have their AI, they have their software, that stuff they work on do, but it's just different. Okay, it's a little harder to sell to people. Even when I talk about Applied Digital, a lot of people don't watch it. They don't. They're like, yeah. I get it what I'm saying. But I'm an investor at the end of the day, and I am a filthy investor, and I say that in the nicest way possible. That if I see somewhere to make a buck, I'm going to pay attention to it. And Applied Digital is something that I'm really looking at, where I'm like, okay, I think there's something that is really taking off here, and a lot of people are not paying attention to it. So for me as an investor, I go like, I could get in right now at the right time, because this could get a lot more aggressive. I don't care that they missed that last quarterly. Who cares? It's still telling me they're in this price bracket right now that I need to pay attention to. So with that, that's kind of how I feel about Applied Digital right now. I'm watching it like a hawk. I am in it. I am watching it. I'm liking what they're doing here. I don't know that it's going to work. It's not a stock right now that I'm like, 10 years from now, this is really going to change my life. I go, okay, it's been good so far. It's been a good ride. I still think there's more. If they continue to push up, if they get back up into this 60, even next year, get into this $80 million range producing quarterlies, listen, this is going to be a $20, $15 to $20 stock here, just off push and hype. 100%, because it's still in this range of tech, regardless. So like I was saying in the beginning here, we could have a future market where companies like this are very focused on. Listen, a lot of people thought at the end of 2024, chips, all that kind of would just keep the attention of the market. Well, they still are very much so. Nvidia's killing it. AMD. The company that physically makes them, they're all doing great. But two, the market has shifted to a lot more towards security, defense, kind of software stocks. That's why Palantirs, companies like that are doing very well. Investors are looking, they're focusing on it. Two, with D-Wave, quantum computing, I look at D-Wave in a different light right now, where the stock is, and this is almost a $20 stock, and there's a lot of hype around it. You've got a company that's not even making as much money as Applied Digital. Their stock costs more money. Why? Well, the last quarterly that they had was enormous. It was huge. I mean, it completely took everyone by storm. I mean, this is a company that went from making $1, $2, $3, $4 million on a good day, or quarterly wise, to now we're talking, are they going to be making $15 to $20 million per quarterly? Because I'm going to buy more. D-Wave here is coming out with quarterlies here on the 7th, Thursday. Okay, well, with that, if D-Wave here releases another quarterly that's in this, even if they miss, even if it's in a $10 to $15 million range, anything above $8 million, I feel like we're still going to be in this teen range with D-Wave here. So this stock is just, it's in a different realm already. It's getting a lot more attention. Well, it's quantum computing. People are more, it's a sexier conversation for what it is. It can easily go into a conversation of defense, stuff like that. You see where we're at. You see what we're talking about here now, kind of the things with the market. And D-Wave here just had some things happen where, partnerships. If we see this company right here particularly really continue to do well, this stock is going to get really stupid faster probably than Applied Digital with stock price. And I say that in the nicest way possible. Imagine if D-Wave here just continues to, pull out these $15, $20 million quarterlies. Maybe they're going to do more of that and shock us. This could be a $50 stock before we know it. But it's going to take this next quarterly to really tell us where we're at. This is a whole new ball game of money where we find ourselves with D-Wave. Applied Digital, it may really find a lot more strength in the future here with a strong, hardy investment community. D-Wave, quantum computing, it may find a very strong, stronger community with investors here in the future. I think both these stocks, even if they don't attract you as an investor, I get it 100%, but I think they deserve your attention. These are two stocks, two different companies that could get just stupid expensive off of. They're growing fast. The market has not found them really yet. They're not really popular stocks, I would say. I would dare say, Big Bear is a very much more popular stock than these. Okay, and both these companies. I mean, Applied Digital is making more money than Big Bear. It's barely just a little more money stock-wise price than Big Bear. D-Wave, obviously almost a $20 stock. It just made a $15 million quarterly. It's a $20 stock. Things don't have to make sense in this market. It's just the way it is. Hype and, FOMO will make more money at the end of the day than anything. That should be my t-shirt. Friends, I want to thank you so much for listening to me talk about this. I know this is a different video, but listen, we're investors. What do we do as investors? If we're good investors and we're really thinking long term, short term, whatever you do, you have to do the same thing. Whether you're a swing trader, day trader, or long term trader, everyone's a long trader at the end of the day. Even people that I know that day trade for a living, they're still investing long term. Obviously, a lot of people are looking for next big movements in the market. There's always going to be big movements in the market, and I think a lot of us are going, what is next year going to be movement-wise in the market? Maybe it's going to be robotics. Maybe Optimus, Tesla's robot, will completely take over the market. There's other robotic companies. Maybe that'll be it. Who knows? But, as investors, we're following clues. We're picking up breadcrumbs. We're, magnifying glasses to the paper here. We're looking. We're seeing what's coming. Friends, thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.